Celebrating junior bowling, elevating junior bowlers. Prodigy Bowlers Tour welcomes you to episode 142, the 2023 Kansas City Open March Adult Youth Doubles Tournament, Division I Championship Round. Today, 4 doubles teams will meet in a series of head-to-head matches where the winners will keep advancing as long as they keep winning. In the opening match, the 4th qualifiers, Caden White of Lee's Summit, Missouri, and his adult partner Lonnie Frederick of Olathe, Kansas, will meet the 3 seeds. Andrew Coleman of Excelsior Springs, Missouri, and his adult partner Ryan Mesa of Parkville, Missouri. The winners in that match will face the 2 seeds, Hayden Jameson of Bentonville, Arkansas, and his adult partner William Renfro of Fayetteville, Arkansas. And the winners of that match will take on our tournament leaders Nolan Nash of Greenwood, Missouri, and his adult partner Quentin Mamer of Adrian, Missouri, for the title today. One of these 4 doubles teams will be crowned Division I Adult Youth Champions at the Kansas City Open. For me, Coach Randy, while I'm still in the market for a car to replace the one I totaled in January, it was about a 40-minute lift ride from my home in Overland Park, Kansas, to Belton, Missouri, where we find ourselves at Aaron's Family Fun Center, one of the nicest bowling centers in the greater Kansas City area, with 32 modern lanes and another 6 in a private VIP room off to the right. This is the second of 2 adult youth doubles events on the KCO calendar, and the spots in this event sold out quickly as the Kansas kids were unable to participate in tournaments during January and February when the high school bowling season was ongoing. But with that behind us, it seemed like everybody wanted a piece of the action here at Aaron's. As regular Prodigy viewers know, the KCO holds competition in 5 divisions, and Division I is the one division where the youth bowlers all carry averages of 200 and above, so they bowl scratch. But the adult partners in these doubles events are given handicap in the amount of 90% of the difference between their average and 220. At the adult youth doubles events, both team members bowl 5 games of qualifying in one of 2 squads, the A squad in the morning or the B squad in the afternoon. Their 5-game total, plus any handicap pins for the adults, is their qualifying score. And here's how today's qualifying round ended up. As you can see, our runner-up at the March Points Tournament in Olathe 2 weeks ago, Colby Lovegren, and his partner finished 5th in the alternate spot. Colby never seems to be far from the lead. And Justin Preston's adult partner, Chance Rivera, bowled the one and only 300 game in the tournament today. And he bowled it on the same pair of lanes where the stepladder finals will be held today. Other names you've grown familiar with from watching Prodigy Bowlers Tour include Dylan Rucker, who was on that points tournament telecast 2 weeks ago. Landon Stoddard, who's been on the show a few times, including the last adult youth doubles tournament back in December. Carson Beach, who, along with his brother Tyler, are now known as the Beach Boys by 2 of our viewers in Fort Worth, Texas. And I see that Carson's adult partner, Tony the Ripper, was back again today. Joshua Oldham and Fiona West round out the players you've seen before on Prodigy. Fiona did not look happy when she was leaving today, as this is her home bowling center, and I'm sure she was expecting a better performance. But I know she'll bounce back. With that as the backstory for today's championship round, it's time to light the fuse and get this rocket ship launched. In our opening match, it's the 4 seeds, Caden White, who won the KCO February Points Tournament. That's the one I missed when I was in the hospital following my car accident. And his adult partner, Lonnie Frederick. They're facing the team of Andrew Coleman and Ryan Mesa, the number 3 qualifiers. As always in the KCO Adult Youth Doubles Tournaments, the adult partners lead off, and the youth partners bowl in the anchor position for the teams. So with 2-member teams, we're going to bowl league style, And because of the continuous action, we probably won't have as many replays. Lonnie Frederick with the opening toss of this match. Pulls it left, misses the head pin, and then he has a rather awkward spare to shoot, the 1-3-5-6. And now we get our first look at Ryan Mesa. Ryan is 31 years old, carries a league average of 156. Comes up a little high with that one, leaves the 4-7. Lonnie would have liked to have put his first ball right there, but a solid spare to begin. As you can see, the team of Ryan Mesa and Andrew Coleman have a 41-pin handicap differential. Ryan's getting 57, Lonnie's getting 16, and of course the youth bowlers both get 0. And there's a spare to begin for Ryan. And now Caden White. Very quick approach. He's got fast feet. But he makes it work, and that's a solid strike to begin. Now Andrew Coleman. Oh! How did he do that? Comes in high and had the 4-6 looking at him there for a second. We'll take another look at that. I think we'll get to see his reaction here. Watch this. Goes right through the nose. And he's like, okay, thank you very much. I'll take it. All right, everybody with a mark in the opening frame. Oh! Well, that's a whoopsie. And he will quickly surrender 10 pins in count because he was on a spare. And, well, there's something going on there on lane 2. You get a high hit, and the 4-6 just says, nope, I'm not sticking around. Well, Ryan is going to have to settle for 9 out in the second frame, and much of their 41-pin advantage going into the match, well, half of it's gone now. The lead is now just 20, as Caden White is going to try to shrink it some more if he can put up a double here. But instead, he comes in light and leaves the 2-pin. So that gives Andrew Coleman the opportunity to get some of that lead back that they've surrendered. And that's how it's done right there. Andrew Coleman, just 16 years old. Caden turns 16 at the end of March. And there's a spare for him. And now we turn our attention to Lonnie once again. Crosses over, manages to get 8 out of it. Lonnie with a league average of 202. There, that's what Ryan's been looking for. 10 back. Good shot. And Lonnie makes short work of the 6-10. Well, both of these youth bowlers, Andrew here on the right lane, Caden on the left, have made, well, just about every KCO this season. Andrew's best finish came back in September when he finished second. He was the #1 qualifier that day. That's when he was in Division 2. He's moved up since, obviously. And Caden's best finish, as we mentioned earlier, he won in February at Crown Lanes in Leavenworth, where we will be once again in April. That was a truck. Lonnie with a big strike in the 4th frame. Oh boy. Boy, did that thing jump at the end. And now Ryan's left with a difficult split. The 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. Here's how you make it. Put the ball on the right side of the 3-pin. The ball will get the 6-10. You hope that the 3 will go over and get the 4, which will knock out the 7. As first we watch Caden White carry a Brooklyn to put a double on the board and chip away at that big lead of Ryan's and Andrews. Too much 3-pin there. So it's another open frame for Ryan. That would have been a spectacular conversion if he had made it. That's a tough one. But Andrew, who's perfect through 3, can extend their lead to 26 with another strike here in the 4th. And he is just wired. So we move to the 5th frame. This match moving along quite rapidly. And, well, Ryan is backing off because it appears that Caden's bowling ball is still back there in the pit, spinning around. And I don't know if he just considers it a distraction or he's afraid that if he bowls, he's going to crack somebody's bowling ball. But he's going to wait and see if that ball doesn't clear the area and find its way into the chute. Lonnie finds his way into the pocket for another strike, and that will cut into the lead of Ryan Mesa and Andrew Coleman. As Ryan still waits. Not sure what to do in this situation. Do you call the desk and ask him to clear the ball? They might have to. And that may be what we're waiting on right now. They may have already called it. So while we wait, I'll tell you that the group that's bowling on lanes 3 and 4 to our right, that's Division 2. And we will fill you in at the end of the show today how their stepladder plays out. Here we go. That orange ball back there is now on its way back to the ball return. And Ryan comes in a little thin, leaving the 2-7, the left-hander's baby split. This is actually not a terribly hard spare for a right-hander, but it looks like the 7-pin was knocked down by the pin setter, so that'll have to be reset. And there's another strike by Caden White, and that will cut the lead down to just 6 pins. And I'm not sure what Ryan is doing here. He may not be aware that the pin setter knocked the 7-pin down. He can't shoot at that spare. That's not going to count. They're going to have to reset that 7-pin. So while we wait for that to happen, and I think they're discussing it right now, he's being made aware of the fact that the 7-pin was up and that the machine knock it over or fail to lift it up when it swept the deadwood. In any case, there's just 3 more events left on the 2022-23 bowling season calendar for the Kansas City Open. In April, we're back at Crown Lanes in Leavenworth, as I mentioned earlier. Then in May, we go up to St. Joseph, Missouri, and Revolutions Lanes and Fun Center. Our one trip to St. Joe this season. And then finally in June, we return to Olathe and the KCO Invitational. Here's what happened with that 7-pin. The machine didn't pick it up. And so when it swept the deadwood, it swept the 7-pin along with the deadwood, and we're having to get it reset. So we wait. Should have brought a crossword puzzle. Here we go. These more modern pin setters are pretty quick about this. There you go. There's your 2-7. So that ball he threw at the 2-pin a moment ago is simply discounted. And now he will shoot at this split, which, as I mentioned earlier, is not a terribly difficult one for a right-hander. Just put the ball on the left side of the 2-pin and the ball will deflect over into the 7. Shelley, one of the KCO board members, is correcting the score. And once that's done, Ryan can shoot at this spare. Hard to get into much of a rhythm when all this kind of stuff is going on, but we'll get it all cleared up. Here's how you make the 2-7. Put that ball right over on the left side of the 2-pin. Nothing to it. Ryan is 31 years old. He's only been bowling for about a year. His high score, 279. His high series so far, 648. And unfortunately, he gets too much of the 2-pin, and it's an open frame. So at least for the moment, Lonnie and Caden own a 5-pin advantage. That's how you read that number at the bottom of the screen. That +5 with the arrow pointing to the left means it's the team that's on the left side of our score sheet that owns that lead. But Andrew Coleman, with a 5th strike in a row, will seize the lead right back as you see the arrow switch to the other side. And now Ryan and Andrew are back out in front. But Lonnie and Caden, both with doubles working, have the advantage here. Ryan would like to join them, put an X up on his score sheet right now. And he does just that. Good shot. Let's see what Lonnie can do here. Now you could see him motioning with his left hand, telling the gallery on the left side of the fairway to look out. Incoming. A nice little 4-9 conversion over on lane 3 in the Division II step ladder. Lonnie with the 6-9-10 here on lane 2. And he gets it. Well, Andrew cut that one a little bit short. So his string of strikes stops at 5. But a simple spare, just the 6-pin. And all of a sudden, Caden White has caught fire. And he now has a 4-bagger. That's 5 strikes in 6 frames. So both of our youth bowlers bowling out of their minds. A spare for Andrew. This match, a very close contest. Just 3 pins separating these two teams. Ryan with that crouch style, reminiscent of some bowlers from my era when I was a PBA bowler. A guy named Tony Westlake bowled with that bent over style, and of course none more famous than Marshall Holman. Boom! Lonnie with another solid hit on the left lane. And there's a spare for Ryan Mesa. Keep this match close. Now, Caden with a double up and a 3-pin lead. He can move his team out ahead by 13 with another strike here. And he buries it. So that'll put a little heat on Andrew Coleman, whose string of strikes came to an end in the last frame. He needs to start another one right here. Oh, man! Well, we saw the 4-9 converted on the adjacent pair a moment ago, but this is the way to make it. Get them all to fall on the first ball, and then you don't have to shoot it. Watch this. Well, that's like a magic trick. And there's another good one. Ryan manages to trip the 4 and 7, and he puts a strike up in the 8th. Oh, man! It's like they're coming in pairs now. The 4-9 late to go there as well. But that double pushes Lonnie and Caden's lead out to 23 pins. And Caden with a chance to make it even bigger. Of course, Andrew also with a strike up, so he could neutralize any strike that Caden might throw here if he can get one of his own here on the left lane. But instead, he sends it way wide, and now he's facing the 2-10 split. And Caden takes care of his business, grows their lead to 33 pins. And now Andrew is almost in a must-make situation here with the 2-10. Here's how you make it. Put the ball on the left side of the 2 and throw that 2-pin over into the 10. Well, I'm not sure what happened there. It looks like he may have just been trying to find a better line to the pocket, but he needed to make that to keep this match within reason. Look at that 9-pin slide off spot, and pin setter says, nope, I'm not touching it. It's out of range. Lonnie pulls his shot left and leaves the 3-5-6, but look at this, Ryan with a very unusual looking 3-9 spare. Usually that 9-pin stands directly behind the 3 as what we call a sleeper. And it appears that the scoring system miscalculated it. It probably thinks that there's 9 down. So Shelley will make that correction. 8 is the correct count. Not sure why that would matter. He's on a strike, so there's no change in the score whether he got 9 or 8 on that first ball. You don't lose count if you're on just one strike. But might as well get it correct up there. Got to be careful with this one, though. You got to hit it squarely on the front of the 3-pin. If you let the ball get to the left of the center of the 3-pin, it'll send the 3-pin off to the right. The ball will deflect to the left, and you'll leave the 9-pin. And if you don't hit the 3-pin full enough, if you miss it on the right side, well, it'll send the 3-pin to the left of the 9. You gotta hit it right on the face. Oh, he just barely got it. But that was an excellent shot. But with the lead 44 pins and Caden working on a double here, he can just about put this away. And look at that. 410 go out late, and it's like these pins are lighter than air. And that was an unusual looking light shaker that just would not take out the 4 and 7. So Andrew is faced with a spare conversion here, and the lead is just getting out of hand. Oh boy. Ryan's first ball in the 10th comes up short. He's got a washout. A 1, 2, 4, 8, 10 here. Here's how you make it. Put the ball on the left side of the head pin and throw that head pin over into the 10. The ball should do the damage on the 2, 4, and 8. You do it just like that. That was textbook. A beautiful shot. Lonnie slapping out that 10 pin for a strike in the 10th frame. Here's another look at that washout conversion by Ryan just a moment ago. Watch this. This is just exactly the way you draw it up. No doubt about it. Well, and he gets 9 on the fill ball. That's going to be a 205 handicap game. It's not enough. Lonnie and Caden have wrapped up this match. A stone 9 for Lonnie. But it's all academic at this point. The match is already banked. Andrew will finish out here in the 10th. Big time strike there. First time we've seen Andrew on Prodigy Bowlers Tour this season, but he's bowled in most of the KCOs this year. In fact, I believe he's bowled in all of them. In addition to the first he had in Division II in September, he also finished 6th at the December Youth Adult. And his best finish as an individual came in February at Crown Lanes when he finished 8th. Meanwhile, Caden just keeps throwing strikes. Possible 280. And the hits just keep on coming. Andrew names Anthony Simonson as his favorite PBA pro. It's going to be a 234. Solid game, even if it does come up a little short. See if Caden can get all the way to 280. He needs 2 more strikes. Oh, the 10 pin stops him. So with a conversion here, he'll finish with 269. We pair that with the 230 that his partner Lonnie Frederick just put up. And that's a pretty formidable mountain for any opponent to have to climb. Well, he knew as soon as he let go of that one, it was in the channel, but still a 498 to 439 victory. It's Lonnie Frederick and Caden White who are moving on to match 2. They'll face William Renfro and Hayden Jamison. Well, that opening match was a tale of two halves. The first half of the match was all Andrew Coleman, as he started with a 5-bagger. But then, as the second half of the match unfolded, Caden White and his partner buried their opponents in an avalanche of strikes. And then, when Andrew Coleman split in the 8th frame and failed to convert the split, it was all over but the shouting. Caden and Lonnie were able to coast to the finish line. So, it's Caden White and his adult partner Lonnie Frederick who advanced to match 2, where now they'll face the 2 fireballers who are up from Arkansas, Hayden Jamison and his adult partner William Renfro. Hayden and William will be trying to put a good old-fashioned Razorback beatdown on their opponents, while Caden and Lonnie will be hoping to fry some bacon in the next half hour, if you know what I mean. But only one of these 2 teams will be bowling for the championship today. And now we're about to find out who it's going to be. Well, if their handicaps are any indication, this should be a pretty close match. Lonnie Frederick getting 16 pins. Will Renfro getting 23, just a 7-pin handicap differential. Lonnie's going to lead us off. Well, that hook's high, and he leaves a tricky cluster, the 3, 6, 9, 10. And now we get our first look at Will Renfro, the youngest adult bowling in our stepladder finals today. Will is just 19 years of age, just old enough that he can't bowl junior bowling anymore. But as you can see, a very contemporary game. 2-hander, revs it up. Big strike to start. Oh! Lonnie chops the 3-9 off the 6-10. So an open frame out of the gate. Now we get our first look at Hayden Jamison, or as he likes to go by, J-Mo. 18 years old. This will be his last year in junior bowling. And another solid strike, man. Nearly had a solid 7-9 there. Caden just drifts a little high with that one. Leaves the 4-pin. Caden goes by the nickname Lil Whitey. And I said, can I even say that? He said, well, my dad's old Whitey, so I guess that's okay. Caden with a high series of 750 and his high game 280. We almost saw him match that in that last game that just ended. And Lonnie breaks down the 4-9 and has just the 9 and can breathe a sigh of relief. As Will Renfro, Willie as he likes to be called, moves over to the left lane. He started bowling at the age of 13, later than some that we see. A lot of these kids we see started at 3 and 4 and 5. It's amazing. Oh, ringing 10. That's a fine how do you do. Oh my. Lonnie runs past the 9-pin, and boy, that's an unforced error. 2 opens in a row to start this second match. Not what he had in mind. Of course, we add the handicap into their score in the very first frame. Lonnie had 8 out in that first frame. He has 24 on the score sheet. That's because we added his 16 pins into his score. We'll do the same with everybody. Whew. Just got the 10-pin. And you see on Will's score, strike spare start would be 20 in the first, but we add the 23 pins in, so he's got 43. And you can read the body language from behind. Caden not happy with that toss. He just cut it short, didn't give it room. And he's left with the 6-10 as Hayden moves over to the left lane with a chance to really extend the lead quickly. Oh my goodness. A light shaker 8-10. Now that's not something you see every day. Wow. Very bad break. Caden covers his spare. Hayden will have a bit more difficulty with his. More than likely, he will just take one and go sit down. So it's an open frame. And the lead is 20 through 2 frames. Both players have now thrown a frame on each lane. Of course, they got warm-ups before they came on this pair, so they pretty much knew what to expect. Will now moves back to the right lane. He's won about 10 tournaments in his life. Has a 300 game to his credit. 786 series was his high, and he just added a sweet little messenger strike to his resume just to keep the pressure on Lonnie and Caden here. And Lonnie drifts high with that one. A 3-6 again. He chopped the 3 off the 6 in the first frame. I know that's running through his mind right now. Can't make that mistake again. And Lonnie yields right of way to Hayden so that he can throw at his strike. Oh, nearly a 7-10. That's more like it, Lonnie. There's a mark to get off the schneid. Hayden's won 3 tournaments. The Heart of America, he won one of those, a PBA Pro-Am. And he won his high school conference in Arkansas. There's a spare. As Caden will try to right the ship and get back on track here. And he shreds the rack with that one. Maybe the best shot he's thrown today. He's going to need a few more of those. Among the 10 wins that Will has to his credit, he's won the Southwest Gold Tour. He was an Arkansas State Youth Champion. His favorite pro bowler is Chris Prather. Boy, that is a game that is a good one to copy. And he gets the wall shot to go. And that will grow their lead to 30 pins. Now Lonnie looking for his first strike of the match. And he's going to continue looking for a while as he goes high once again. Breaks up the split. Leaves just the 6. Oh! Where did that pin come from? They're falling from the heavens. Take another look at that one. Watch his reaction to it. He's like, okay, I'll take it. But now take a closer look at this. Where does this pin come from? It's not one of the 10 that were standing on the deck. That pin dropped out of the pin setter. Technically, that should be reset. But nobody caught it, nobody said anything. So it goes down as a strike for Hayden. They don't have the benefit of video replay at the bowling center, and nobody saw it at the time, so oh well. Caden needs a strike here to cut into the lead. Oh, man. Denied. No good deed goes unpunished, apparently. Can't throw it any better than that. That was right in the hole, and he leaves a stone 7. Covers it, but I think they're going to need some strikes to get back in this match. Lonnie's going to try to get him one right here. That's left. Breaks up the split. Lonnie has kind of a funny backswing. That ball swings to the outside in his backswing, and then he has to reroute it coming back down to get it back on plane. Kind of old school, his method. Nowadays you'd see players tend to rotate their shoulders open in the backswing, and that would keep that swing plane right on line. Boy, William with a powerful strike just rips the rack. And now Lonnie's got a simple spare. And he has no problem with it. Well, Hayden says he wants to grow up to be an air traffic controller. Well, as if tournament bowling wasn't stressful enough, you might as well go for one of the most stressful jobs in the world. He makes it a little less stressful on the lanes throwing shots like that, though, I guarantee you. Now Caden, who's good friends with Nolan Nash, our tournament leader. Oh! 10-pin gives him a little wiggle just to say, ha ha, see, you missed me. He's thrown some really good shots this match, and they have not been rewarded. But he takes care of the 10-pin, no problem. Lonnie Frederick, 57 years old. Started bowling when he was 15. Lists Earl Anthony as his favorite pro bowler. I'm with you, Lonnie. Earl was the man. Just struggling. He's been on the nose most of the game. He needs to move his feet left. And once again, we've had a pin fall down here. The pin setter just not picking them up. But there's the spare he needs to shoot, the 3-6. Well, Will and J-Mo in command of this match. 55 pins ahead, both of them with doubles up. This is going to be a heavy lift for Lonnie and Caden, but they can do it. But Will and Hayden are going to make it more difficult if they keep throwing those. There's a spare. And I don't think spares are going to get it done. This is the pair of lanes that earlier today there was a 300 bowled. Chance Rivera, who was the doubles partner of Justin Preston, shot a 300 on this pair, and he bowled his 10th frame on the left lane, lane 1. Boom. So I'm not surprised we're seeing a lot of striking. Plus the fact the B squad during qualifying today did not use this pair. So this pair of lanes is fresher than the other pairs in the house for the stepladder finals. Remember, they only run the lanes once in the morning for the KCO. And suddenly Caden is just lost. He hits the pocket and they don't go down, so he starts trying to press by making some moves to try to shake a strike or two loose, and suddenly he finds the ball going right through the nose and leaving one of the more difficult clusters, the 3, 6, 9, 10. Lots of ways to miss this. And that's one. So the lead grows to 90. And there's a strike. Lonnie was looking for that all game. He knows it's growing late now. That may have come a little too late, but you never know. I've seen strange things happen in this sport. But Will and Hayden look like they are pretty locked in. And the the shaker just doesn't quite take out the 7. Moved it an inch or two, but doesn't get it to fall, so his streak of strikes is snapped at 4. And that one doesn't quite get up. It seems like the more Caden presses, the faster his feet get. He's like a jackrabbit anyway. He runs up to the foul line, but man, he just seems to be going faster and faster with each frame. And there's a spare for Will Renfro. And he hooks past the center of the 2-pin, sending it to the right of the 8. The ball deflecting to the left, and that's what you get. An open frame, and now they have just been centuried. The lead is now 100, and I'm not sure we've ever seen that on Prodigy. And Hayden just made it even worse. Although I would imagine Hayden and William probably think, well, that's even better. And I guess I wouldn't blame them if I was bowling with them. Nobody likes getting beat like this. But sometimes you just go, okay, well, it's their day. It sure isn't ours. Will leaves the 2-4, so he'll have to do a little navigation to make the spare. As Lonnie trying to get a double. And he's back on the nose. And will leave another 3-6 combination. He's seen 3 of these now, 3 or 4 of these in this match. And when that happens, you just have to wonder why a player doesn't make a bigger adjustment and move the feet left. There's a spare for Will. Come on, Lonnie, let's see you make this. All right. He even plays for the 3-6-10 down the right side of the lane, just like he would for a strike. J-Mo setting his feet carefully, trying to keep this string of strikes going. And he does. Oh, goodness. He knew that was left as soon as it left his hand. He just yanked it left, tried to turn it so hard he never got it on the right launch angle. Keep that right elbow in, tight to your body. And that's what happens when you don't. Well, you might as well get it all out of your system here, because you're not going to win this game. Another one through the nose for Lonnie. 6-10 remains. So it's going to be a third place finish for Lonnie and Caden, unless something goes down here that makes the 10 o'clock news tonight, like maybe William and Hayden are abducted by extraterrestrials. I wouldn't bet on it. You just get the sense that Will and Hayden are already mentally in the next match. That strike puts them in the championship match, as if there was some doubt. And they can try another ball the rest of the way, try a slight adjustment on the lanes to see what's there if they want to search for an alternate line in case the one they've got disappears. And Lonnie and Caden will just go through the motions to try to get this over with. Boy, he really gave that one a hard turn, and man, it came through the rack just like a freight train. Well, it's like Lonnie is through the nose and Caden is light. If they could kind of meet in the middle, might have had a different outcome this match. But when they get to watch this on video, maybe they'll learn something. Oh! He can't believe it. Nothing is going right today, but like I said earlier, you might as well get all of this out of your system now. That's 4 opens in a row for Caden. I wonder when the last time that happened. Another one on the nose for Lonnie. And I don't understand this. I don't know why he hasn't moved left. We may have some kind of a record here this match for a victory margin in a doubles competition on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. I'm not even sure what the record is, but these guys are flirting with a 200 pin margin. Oh man, they've got all the strikes going for them. Lonnie gets the 610. Here's that strike that Will just got. Watch the head pin go to the left wall. It knocks the 4 forward into the back of the 2. That's one way to do it. That's a more reliable way to do it there. The shredder. Send that 5 pin over into the 7. Take out the whole left side of the rack. Will with a possible 270 with his handicap. Well, now that time, Lonnie made a little move to the right. Gets 9. At least he hit the pocket. Although I think the correct move would have been left, not right. He just got farther into the dry part of the lane by moving right. Pow. Mark it down, scorekeeper. That's a 2-7-0 score. Great stuff. All right, Caden, finish strong. Well, those strikes come a lot easier when the pressure's off. J-Mo a possible 258 here if he goes off the sheet. There's the first one. He doesn't show much emotion. I bet he'd be good at poker. Well, of course they're going to go now. And all Caden can do is smile, like, where has that been all game? This next strike would put him in the 250s. And there it is. That's some pretty serious bowling by these two. That's a 247 scratch by Will. And it's going to be a 258 if Hayden strikes here on the 12th frame. Caden with a disappointing 159. That includes a turkey in the 10th frame. Hayden and Will making a statement here in the semifinal match. All right, he finishes with a 7 count on the final ball for a 255. That's a 525 to 343 final score. And we'll go and do the math and see what kind of margin that is. And we'll tell you when we come back. The championship match is next. Boy, I can't recall a time on Prodigy Bowlers Tour when we've witnessed a bowler or a team so completely lose their look from one match to the next. But Lonnie Frederick and Caden White went from making 15 strikes between them in match 1 to making just 5 strikes between them in match 2. Meanwhile, William registered 9 strikes that last match, while Hayden put up 9 more of his own for 18 strikes between them. And when one team gets 18 strikes while the other gets just 5, well, that's how you wind up with a 525 to 343 outcome. And for those of you keeping track, that's a victory margin of 182 pins. Ouch! If it was a football game, this was the type of contest that the losing head coach might just burn the game film and not show it to his team. But you know what? Caden and Lonnie bowled great to get there, and I know we'll see Caden again on Prodigy in the future. But right now, it's the two Arkansas Razorbacks, William Renfro and Hayden Jamison, who have made it to the championship match, where they'll now take on our tournament leaders, Nolan Nash and his adult partner, Quentin Mamer. Nolan has been knocking on the door all season. He has 2 seconds and 2/3. And Quentin is more than just his doubles partner. Q is also Nolan's ball driller. Nolan bowls league here at Aaron's, and Quentin works in the pro shop, so the two of them should certainly know the lanes. But William Renfro and Hayden Jamison are on a roll, so there's every reason to believe this match could come down to the very end. Quentin and Nolan were the higher finishers, so they had the choice of starting lanes. They're going to finish on the left lane, and Quentin is leading off. And he does so authoritatively with a solid strike. And now Will. I don't believe there's going to be anything held back this match. Will and J-Mo are loaded for bear, and Q and Nolan want to defend their home turf. Boom. Nolan with a big strike to start. See if Hayden can make it unanimous. Oh boy, that was close. Almost got one to roll over there at the end, but the 4 remains. You see an 11-pin handicap differential. William getting 23 pins in handicap, while Q gets just 12. So the boys from Arkansas with a slight advantage coming into this match. And the soft 10. Haven't seen any of those today. Ringing 10s, yes, but first quitter 10 I've seen today. Oh! What in the world? Boy, he took the scenic route for that one. And pays the price as he hooks by the 4-pin. You want to go hard and straight at those spares. That is an unforced error to begin, and this match is even. Will takes care of the 10-pin, as you would expect. And Quentin refusing to go two-handed with the rest of these young fellows. He's the old school guy in the group at just 30 years old. But boy, he knows how to make it work. He started bowling when he was 7. I love how Hayden looks at his feet and takes his time to set them in the right spot. And he kind of overhooks it that time, but gets away with it as he trips the 6. Nolan with a solid ball right in the pocket, but the 10 stubbornly refuses to go. And he has seen this before on Prodigy, where he was a top seed or in the step ladder, comes out, buries every ball in the pocket, and just cannot get them all to fall. Oh, man. That was close. There are 39 boards on a bowling lane. You might as well use every last one. Watch this. This ball is slipping off into the gutter, but doesn't quite fall off into the channel. So that spare counts. And that'll kick up your heart rate just a little bit. Oh my goodness. I don't know how you do that. I think that's cheating. Watch this. What gets the 6-pin? It's not the 3. Is that the 8-pin that falls forward and gets the 6? Not sure I've ever seen that before. Wow. Well, the bowling gods smile on you sometimes. Boy, you just leave nothing to doubt with a hit like that. William with a perfect strike in the 3rd. Oh, man. Like a dagger right through the heart. Stone 8. Nolan's got to be saying to himself, I have seen this movie before. I don't like how it ends. And another soft 10. Nolan really with the long stretch and follow through. Gotta like that. But he may be getting a little frustrated. A couple of really good shots not rewarded. Hayden will be careful with this 10-pin. Covers it easily. But Quentin, with that turkey out of the gate, has helped his team to move out ahead of these visitors from down south. Ooh. Well, that could have been most anything. Looked like the Greek church was standing for a minute. And then the 6-7 was still up. But finally, just the 6-pin. And I would say William will probably take that one gladly. Boy, Q is really lined up. I love it when a player is in dead stroke. It is fun to watch. We've seen a bit of that today. Each match, there was one or two players that were really bowling great. Another spare. That keeps the lead reasonable. See if Nolan can finally get a strike to come his way. Stone 8, then a stone 9. He can't believe it. What have I got to do? Why me, Lord? Man, I feel your pain. I've been there before. Boy, that's another pretty good shot. Hayden just a pinch high. As Nolan covers the spare. Well, Will and JMO just, I mean, they are just barely off this match from where they were last game. Yeah, he gives that one a little more room. Didn't want to hook by another 4-pin, but I think they're going to need strikes to win this match. Spares are important. We talk about it all the time. You can't afford to miss spares. But in these matches that are high scoring, the mindset has got to be a little different. You got to string strikes. That'll help. He's struck on the left lane each time he's been up over there this match. Now he needs to figure out the right lane, and he'll be in business. And there's another weak 10. So Quentin will be satisfied with a 4-bagger to start. That has helped give them a 28-pin lead. But now Hayden needs to unlock the puzzle of this pair of lanes and get another strike. There you go. That's what he was looking for. I don't think he made any adjustment on the lane whatsoever. He just made a more aggressive, positive move through the ball, and you see the result. Love Q's technique of going straight up the back of the ball to shoot that 10-pin. Throw it straight. Straighter is greater, especially at single-pin spares. Nolan with 4 great shots, but only 1 strike to show for it. And he gets the fast 8. Now that crowded the head pin just a wee bit. So that may be an indication that he now needs to move left. Trip 4 for Q. As Nolan converts his spare. Well, I tell you what, sometimes this game will teach you patience. You either show patience and get rewarded for kind of hanging around and waiting for your opportunity to come along, or if you don't show patience and you start pressing a little bit, And then all of a sudden you leave a split. You find out that patience is a virtue that you need to learn to have. And look at this. Will puts a double together. That cuts the lead to 16. There's the strike Nolan's been looking for. Slaps out the 10. But now watch this. J-Mo with a chance to put another strike up on the board, giving him a double. That would cut Q and Nolan's lead to just 6 pins, heading to the home stretch. Boom! That was clutch, and that sets him up. All 4 players now working on a strike. The match is down to within a mark. This is anybody's ball game. It'll tighten everybody's throat just a little bit. Oh, it looked like he cut that one short, but it's set in the oil, and he shreds the rack. And that gives the lead back to Will and Hayden. But because Q is working on a strike, he can take the lead right back here. We could see this lead go back and forth for a little while. Big time. So the pressure falls to our 2 youth bowlers. We talk about the psychology of match play, and so often we see it come to the surface when it's a tight, grinded out kind of match. But when you've got a strike-a-thon going, it's a different type of psychology. You got to be willing to just keep throwing strikes. Oh! Well, Nolan's got to be thinking to himself, well, it was good for me, it's good for you. And finally, Nolan gets a pocket hit to take out what could have been a stone 7. He'll take that double, and now their lead grows to 17. Very interesting back and forth here. Hayden with the spare. And now Will needs to keep his string going. If he can throw a strike on this ball, he'll get that match down to just 7 pins again. Here on the PA, they've got leagues starting down on the right end of the house. Uh-oh. He looked away as soon as he let it go. I think he knew that he didn't quite catch it. By not quite catching it, I mean he didn't really come out of it and put the rotation on the ball like he wanted to, and he let it go. And the 5-pin fell down, or was not picked up by the pin setter, so they got to reset it. There's the 2-4-5. That's what he left. Now Q with a chance to extend the lead to 30. Another ringing 10. Will take extra care on this spare. This is easily choppable. You want to put that ball right on the 2 and 5. Just like that. Perfectly done. Quentin going cross lane at the 10-pin. And with that straight ball technique he has, I would imagine he doesn't miss many 10-pins. Hayden needs to set himself up for a stretch run here with a strike in the 8th. But the shaker will not yield a strike. He leaves the 7. Now Nolan with strikes working. Just a pinch high. So he is unable to extend the lead. So it's going to stay close going into the 9th and 10th. Assuming both players convert their spares. There's one. And anytime you see a player turn around before the ball even gets to the pins, you know he was happy with it. All right, here we go. 9th and 10th, 19-pin advantage for Quentin Mamer and Nolan Nash. Who's going to put up the strikes here at the end? That's going to decide it. There's one for Quentin. With that slower ball speed, he just floats that ball out to the right and lets it climb right back into the pocket. William would like to match him right here. Good ball. Just finished a little late. Nolan loved that one as soon as it left his hand. So our leaders have both put up foundation strikes in the 9th. William will be very deliberate at this spare. This is an important spare. You can't be giving them away here. Good shot. Now, I don't know Hayden, but just reading his body language, he looks a little disappointed. I won't say resigned, but now is no time to be saying this match is all but lost. You got to be super determined and just throw strikes. Well, that's a look of dejection. And I guess you can't blame him. But there's still time, and you just don't know what your opponent is going to do in the 10th. Just take care and make this spare. Now his partner comes up a little high, so he's not going to get a double in the 10th. They need one. All right, he covers the 3-6-10. So it comes down to this. Williams got to make this and get all the pins he can on the fill ball. All right. And then they've got to hope that Quentin and Nolan don't double in the 10th. Well, that was wide. I guess you don't want to go through the nose in that situation, but you don't want to be leaving 2 10s either. So Quentin with a possible 250. And a 9 count is going to give Will a 237. That's a solid game. It remains to be seen whether it's going to be enough. There's a spare for Quentin. And that's going to put the first nail in the coffin, I believe. Not quite over yet. But that's going to get him closer to the end right there. Hayden needed to strike out. So the best he can do is 192. Solid strike. Man, that was a good one. 250. All right. It's a spare. But Nolan has the hammer in his hand right now, and I don't mean the bowling ball. He can put an end to this right now. And that'll do it. The shutout ball. Well, I know William and Hayden are disappointed. But they sure bowled well today. They just came up a little short. And I tell you what, Quentin and Nolan are bowling like two guys that were not going to be denied. That's going to put Nolan in the 220s. Possible 225 with a strike on his fill ball. And this could have been so much better. He had a stone 8 and a stone 9 in this game. This is as well as we have seen Nolan bowl on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. And that's the way to finish it off. Quentin Maimer and Nolan Nash, your champions in Division I at the 2023 KCO March Adult Youth Doubles Tournament. Here's the shutout ball that put them in the winner's circle. The first ball in the 10th. It was Nolan Nash who threw it. High flush. And he and Q knew it immediately that that was the one. So that is Nolan's first victory on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, but I have a feeling it might not be his last. He's just 16 years old, so we're going to see him for another couple of years. We will visit with the winners. You'll get to meet them when we return after this. Well, for all the talk I hear about how a stepladder format favors the players who advance up the stepladder rather than the players who are coming on cold from a higher seed, it's worth pointing out that so far this season on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, the tournament leaders are now 6-1 in Division I and 2-5 in the undercard divisions for an 8-6 overall record, reinforcing what I've said all along, which is it tends to balance out. It kind of blows up the theory that the tournament leader is at a decided disadvantage bowling on a pair of lanes that their challengers have already been bowling on. But I digress. William and Hayden didn't bowl bad, but Quentin and Nolan just lit it up with games of 250 and 225, giving their opponents virtually no margin for error. So, after months of knocking on the door, today, Nolan Nash, with the help of his partner Quentin Maimer, crashed the door in. And now, you get to meet them and watch them do the honors. We have winners in Division I. Ding, 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 ding. There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Quentin Maimer, because he maims the pins.
That's what Randy says. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what he tells me.
And this guy who's been knocking on the door on Prodigy Bowlers Tour all year, and finally in his home house kicks the door in. And congratulations, Nolan Nash. What happened? What was different today? 'Cause it wasn't just because you had a partner who could bowl lights out.
I definitely think it was just body control through the whole day. Just making sure I threw good shots. That was a good ball too.
So what kind of lesson is that going to serve you going forward?
Make smarter choices in the beginning because it was definitely a grind throughout the day. You're definitely going to have to make smarter moves earlier on.
So I hear that you work in the pro shop here.
I do, yeah.
Do you drill this guy's bowling balls?
I do, yeah. I've been doing this
Okay.
balls for
All right.
at least a few years now. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years. But yeah, no one's super talented, crazy, all this power, these two-handers, man. It's another level, so yeah, I'm proud of him. He did really good. So.
He sure did, and so did you. I saw you striking up like crazy. I thought, oh my goodness, we might finally get our first Prodigy 300 up here in Kansas City, but
Yeah. I know.
didn't happen.
That's all right, though.
But you still
I'll
bowled great.
I'll take, yeah, what we got.
238 in the championship match,
Yeah, for sure.
225 in the championship match. That sounds like a formula for victory to me, and you know what this means. You finally get to sign your name
I do.
to the coveted trophy pin,
I do get to sign it.
and this makes you eligible to bowl in the Prodigy Tournament of Champions in June. The winner will win the pin, and I don't know, maybe we'll get something else. Today's the 19th of March, and Q, you get to sign the pin too. You are not, however, eligible to bowl in the TOC.
I'm not a prodigy.
23.
No.
I'm just gonna, I don't want to take up space on for all the kids.
Hey, you just sign it anywhere you want.
Alright, there we go.
Oh, put the date on there too,
Alright.
so everybody will know when you left your mark. That was awesome. There are winners in Division 1 at the KCO Adult Youth Doubles Tournament here. Way to go, guys.
Congrats, Nolan. Good job, buddy.
As we mentioned during the show today, the bowlers who were on lanes 3 and 4 to our right were competing in Division 2, and here's how their stepladder played out. In the opening match, the team that qualified in the 4th position, Olivia J. Smith and her adult partner Dwayne Day, just barely slipped past the 3 seeds, Ethan Gonzalez and his adult partner Connor Hill, by the score of 410 to 407. Then in the second match, Olivia and Dwayne caught fire, shooting handicap games of 220 and 264 respectively for a 484 total to the 398 total put up by their opponents, the 2 seeds, Elijah Clinklin and his adult partner Robert Hill Jr. And that set up the championship match. And it was Olivia J. Smith and Dwayne Day who beat the odds by running the stepladder, winning the championship over the tournament leaders Logan Arnold and his adult partner Joseph Arnold, 430 to 391. So congratulations to Olivia J. Smith and Dwayne Day, the Division II champions. On our last episode of Prodigy Bowlers Tour, you saw Dallas Hart and his adult partner Darren Hall capture the title in Division 5. We told you about how Curtis Mellum and his adult partner John Mellum Jr. captured the championship in Division 4. We also told you how in Division 3, Caden Darling-Neer and his adult partner Jeff Macon took top honors. And as we just recapped a moment ago, the Division II winners today were Olivia J. Smith and her adult partner Dwayne Day. Which leaves us with the main event today, which you just watched, in which Nolan Nash and his adult partner Quentin Mamer fended off the challenge of 2 Arkansas fireballers, William Renfro and Hayden Jamison, to claim the Division I championship at the 2023 KCO March Adult Youth Doubles Tournament. Congratulations to all 5 division champions at the Kansas City Open today. The next stop on Prodigy Bowlers Tour is Leavenworth, Kansas, where we missed the February tournament following my January car accident. The KCO returns to Leavenworth and Crown Lanes again for the April Points Tournament. That tournament will be held April 2nd. We'll be taping the stepladder finals in Division 1 and one other division, and we'll be returning to our regular 2 episodes per month release schedule. Look for the first of those 2 April shows to drop on April 15th. After that, there are only 2 more Kansas City Opens left on this season's calendar. The May Points Tournament at Revolutions Lanes and Fun Center in St. Joseph, Missouri on Sunday, May 7th. And then the KCO season wraps up on June 4th at Olathe Lanes East in Olathe, Kansas, where we'll be for the annual KCO Invitational, where the big money scholarship prizes will be awarded. To learn more about the Kansas City Open, visit their website at www.kansascityopen.com. To learn more about Prodigy Bowlers Tour, visit our website at www.prodigybowlerstour.com. Or join our Facebook group to get the Prodigy Insider Scoop. From any page on Facebook, just type in Prodigy Bowlers Tour in the search bar, hit enter, and it'll take you to a page where you can submit a request to join the group. Just be sure to answer the 3 screening questions, or else we'll assume your request to join is coming from a spam bot, and you don't want us thinking that of you, do you? Also, if you'd like to support the work that goes into the production of Prodigy Bowlers Tour each week, consider becoming a Prodigy patron. For just $5 a month, you'll get to watch all our full-length shows before the rest of the public gets it. And for $10 a month, you'll get that, and you'll get your name in the closing credits at the end of each show and be listed as one of the show's executive producers, just like in Hollywood. But most of all, you'll be supporting the hours of work that go into the creation of the show. A special thanks goes out this week to Len Nicholson, the longtime lane maintenance director of the PBA National Tour and the host of the world's #1 bowling podcast, Phantom Radio, which is heard by pretty much everyone who's anyone in and out of the bowling industry. Len invited me to be the featured guest on his podcast this week. You can listen to it by pointing your browser to www.kegel.net/phantom. And I'll tell you that he has launched a brand new Phantom Junior Bowling Club that he'll be revealing more about in the coming weeks on the podcast. It's going to be very exciting, and he is every bit as committed to the kids in our sport as we are at Prodigy Bowlers Tour. I am delighted to call the Phantom a friend of our show. And finally, thanks to the staff here at Aaron's Family Fun Center. They were super nice to us and gave us free run of the place to take all our pictures for the show today and move tables around to tape our shows. If you're ever in the South Kansas City area on the Missouri side, you won't find a better place to bowl than at Aaron's Family Fun Center in Belton, Missouri. So that's a wrap for this edition of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Until we meet again, this is Coach Randy, wishing you all the best, both on the lanes and off. Now, go get your bowl on.